Okay, welcome back. We got ourselves an interesting new video today. It's going to be Premodern actually instead of Old School, and instead of Anthony, we have Karl here with us, who I just want to say is probably the reason why Premodern exists in Montreal. So that's why we have Karl here for our first video. Going to help me commentate on our matchup here of Burn, JS on Sly, and Derrick on Aluren. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, same.
Check out the deck list here. So this is Derrick's version of Aluren, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Not 100% stock like we were talking about earlier, but for the most part, it looks pretty. Well, like 70%, 80% is stock,
Yeah,
right?
usually, I think it's the first time I see Fact or Fiction, but again, I'm not a true Aluren expert. But yeah,
But like that's true. The two or three lists we just looked at didn't have Fact or Fiction.
yeah, I don't think so.
But it's interesting. I mean,
It has all the ingredients though, like the Living Wish for
the maggot,
the maggot carrier. There?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the maggot carrier.
So
yeah.
Aluren is just in case. Aluren is a 4 mana, so 2 and 2 green enchantment that basically lets any player play any 3-cost creature at instant speed for free. Is that right?
Yeah,
instant
exactly.
Speed? Yeah. So basically, what he's trying to do is loop his value creatures like Cavern Harpy and Raven's Familiar to gain infinite life, infinite mana with the Soul Warden, and then eventually Living Wish, like you were saying to me earlier, for maggot.
For the maggot carrier that drains for 1 and when it enters the battlefield, and then you bounce it back to your hand with the Cavern Harpy. So it's like an infinite combo deck.
Yeah.
That can also play a light mid-range game, especially with like all the value creatures and also like the deeds, the pernicious deeds that you see main deck. So
and he has that.
it's a very flexible deck.
He has a nice little Nick Fit thing going on. I didn't see that either in the
Some of the lists do that.
I like it. I mean, you get to 3 or 4 mana fast to get to play the Aluren really like right away.
And also addresses like one of the main issue with that deck, which is his mana base.
Though I will say though that Veteran Explorer is a bit weaker in Premodern than it is in the earlier Legacy days because there's a lot of basics flying around, right?
Exactly.
So you're not just gonna get a one-sided veteran.
Yeah, you're gonna feed all your opponents.
Yeah. But if you're the combo deck, maybe it's okay, right? Just get your Aluren out as fast as possible. Anyways, we'll see. It's gonna be interesting. So let's take a look at Derrick's slide deck. JS's slide deck, which is so. If you know me at all, you know that I like to add weird cards or not like exactly what the meta says you should be building. So I see Flame Rift and I love that. Like I love Flame Rift.
No one discussion already.
No one agrees with me. So I like to see that JS does. But also it's interesting because he's playing like Acidic Soil and Browbeat, which you definitely don't see. But they do. I think it's like conducive to the Flame Rift plan. It's just the idea of like I'm gonna do as much damage as I can with as little mana as possible, and then put you in this awkward position where you have to either give me 3 cards. I think Browbeat gives 3 cards, or take 5 damage.
Yeah.
You can just take a look. But yeah, right. Like Browbeat, typically you're not gonna no one's playing that in their slide decks, right? In Premodern.
Yeah, usually giving your opponent decision is not a desirable thing. It's 3 cards or 5 damage.
Yeah.
Acidic Soil is a card you more often see in Commander than 1v1, but it's a very interesting card.
But it's like a weaker Price of Progress, right? Like Price of Progress does like. It's like it's sort of does 1 damage.
It's a more expensive one, but it hits for all of the lands for all the lands for 1.
1 damage, but it hits you 2, right? Though.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, interesting. But yeah, Browbeat also the problem I think with Browbeat, other than also like not only do you have to are you giving your opponent a choice, but I think also the problem is that it's a sorcery and cost 3. Like a big problem that people I hear when they already talk bad about Flame Rift is they talk about the sorcery aspect. So now Browbeat is that as well. Plus it costs 3. Plus, it gives the opponent a choice. I think the problem with Browbeat is it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like the games where it works makes you think it's justified to play it because it feels so strong, but in reality, you're playing a 3 mana sorcery in a slide deck. So like, you're not, you know what I mean? Giving your opponent a choice.
I'm just trying to understand what he's cutting for those, because like that's 6 card and also like the Flame Rift, right? That are not usual cards for Sly, so I'm trying to understand what.
There's no Baubles.
Yeah.
There's no Mog Fanatic.
Oh yeah, Mog Fanatic is there for him.
Sorry. Goblin Patrol.
Yeah, with Goblin Patrol you don't see it in every list.
Well, geez, there's the what is the 9th? I mean, like. Whatever. I don't know what the differences are with the main deck. Just that there's definitely 9 cards. We're gonna see if they play. Okay. Also, just before they start really quickly, who do you think is favored here? The combo deck or Sly. If they were like both the typical decks, forget about like how they built them for now. Just if it was like typical Sly versus typical Aluren, who do you think is taking the game?
I would vote for Sly because Sly is much more consistent and Aluren's mana base is very painful. Okay. So and Sly can take more of a control role where they are damaging the creatures also, which is also a possibility. So I think
Sly has
Derrick will need to like draw a very fast hand. Yeah.
Okay. So I think JS took a mulligan to 6, and Derrick did not. But JS's hand is not looking like what you were talking about he needs to be doing to slow down Derrick. He's got only Incinerate as interaction, which is... It could be dangerous, right, if Derrick has a fast start. Now, Derrick doesn't have Veteran Explorer. He did have the Cabal Therapy. If your opponent plays Mountain on turn 1 and says go, are you instantly pegging them on Sly?
No, the Goblin is also very popular.
Yeah, that's true. So are you Cabal Therapying if you're Derrick on turn 2 with just a Mountain and nothing else?
Well, since he's on the play, we can't really expect him to know a matchup, right? So you don't want to Cabal Therapy in the blind like this. You rather like develop your board with your bird first. If you were
making the ultimate call though, and you were putting them on burn like right away, and they didn't do anything on turn 1, and you did play Cabal Therapy, what would you name? Would you name Incinerate? Because they didn't do anything with their turn 1.
That's weird, right? Yeah, Incinerate.
Like it's just like you want to name a 3 damage card, I think, and you're not going to name Lightning Bolt because they could just respond if they have Lightning Bolt. So I think you would name Incinerate.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But JS has Acidic Soil and Browbeat in his hand, so we'll see. Are you incinerating this bird? Like, is that the plan for JS? I mean, like this hand is already. Oh, he drew a Fire Blast. Okay, interesting.
Okay, so
maybe not anymore then. Maybe.
So JS is not playing Lava Darts, and he's not playing.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What else?
Is he playing any pops?
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, so Derrick did Cabal Therapy, the Mad Lad.
Yeah.
I wonder what he named.
That's a good question.
Maybe we should find out. Maybe if JS remembers, since he's our tech boy, he can put the image on the screen if he remembers what Derrick named. We gotta try to utilize this bottom right square here with card arts when things pop up, like lesser known cards or. Okay. So.
Okay, so apparently he didn't name Incinerate then.
He did not name Incinerate.
Yeah.
I wonder if he would have named Lightning Bolt.
I don't think that's the right choice.
No, yeah, I don't think so either. I just wonder. Now, yeah, you don't flash back, Because you want your because if Derrick's got a learn in his hand, he's just playing it next turn, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he's also playing Factor Fiction, so that's another 4 drops.
No, true. So I think JS does not respect the bird, right? That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Which I think you can't, right? Like when you're playing Browbeat and Flame Rift, you're playing burn as a combo deck. You gotta like just save your burn damage to hit their face as much as possible. I think that's what he has to do. Whether or not he knows what he's playing against.
Leaving the bird alive if you know you're facing Aluren is pretty.
Yeah, but does he know? Does he know what he's playing against? It's just, okay, so like...
so far you could expect full English breakfast, I would say, just from the lands,
okay, fair.
Like Island and None Waste.
So Factor Fiction, we were saying, is unconventional, right, in Aluren?
Yeah, but it's a good card. Like, it's a generic good card, right?
Yeah.
But it's not something you usually see.
It's paying off for Derrick in this matchup where JS's Sly version is a lot slower than what's typically going on with the Sly deck, right? But so what? JS goes Incinerate end step, untap, play Sulfuric Vortex, basically. Oh yeah, wait, we should evaluate the Factor Fiction.
Yeah, exactly. You split that.
I don't think you give a shit about Pernicious Deed, so you're probably gonna put that with 3 cards, right? Like the 3-card pile will probably feature Pernicious Deed.
Yeah. Cedar Breast is interesting, right? Because it damaged the Derrick when he. That's interesting. So
I think I would put the Wirewood with the Pernicious, like the combo pieces with the Pernicious Deed, and then the land away from the combo pieces.
Well, Living Wish can pretty much get all of your pieces if you build his wish board correctly. It usually has 3 main of everything, and you can get 1 from the side.
Okay, so I think I actually would have split it that way, but I think I would have taken the opposite cards.
Okay. Took took these 3. Okay, that's interesting.
Like, I don't see how those cards do anything for him when, like, he needs mana and he needs Living Wish, right? Like, those are the cards he didn't take.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I mean, I don't know what's in his hand, I guess, but it just it just seems like he didn't choose the cards that he that he needs. I don't know. Be curious to ask him what his thought process was there. But yeah, okay, there's Incinerate on the end step. You just played the Sulfuric Vortex, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Sulfuric Vortex stops the life gain part of the combo, so that's pretty big.
Okay, but I think Derrick's deck is featuring Monk Realist.
Okay, so
I don't know if it's in the sideboard or not. Interesting. But that'd be like something that would happen if I was playing against you. You would just rip that Monk Realist off the top or something. Yeah.
Normal.
Okay, he just chooses the Lavamancer.
I mean, Lavamancer is not bad versus Aluren because they are a creature-based deck with a lot of small creatures, but I think you want to get the damage early with, like, Sulfuric Vortex.
But also the mana, right? Like, you use the mana a lot better by playing Vortex here.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if he draws an Incinerate or another Burn Spell. Next turn, you can go Lavamancer plus Burn Spell.
Yep.
He won't be able to do that with the Sulfuric Vortex.
Or Lavamancer plus Brobeat if you draw land.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But the Sulfuric Vortex stopping the life gain is actually massive, right? Because
because that's...
the Maggot Carrier requires you to have some kind of life gain going, right?
Yeah, exactly.
For me, always, Aluren seemed like a deck that just seemed like too strong. But every time I see it in action, there are a lot of pieces. Like, you need a lot of things to...
Yeah, you need a lot of things to go right.
Yeah.
And mana bases are really, really bad in Premodern. Like, playing 3 colors like this is a big trade-off of playing that kind of deck. Like, removes some consistency, and you're weaker to, like, aggro decks.
Yeah, and burn is very prevalent in the format.
Yeah,
so.
it is very prevalent, so...
So with Derrick's at 16, 14, 10...
Yeah.
Okay.
As I was saying, like, you usually play 3 copies of all your combo pieces in your main deck, and then you can, like, Living Wish
for the last one. So he just Living Wished for Harpy here, and is he playing the Harpy? Is that what's happening?
I think that's what's happening here.
So wait, when the Harpy enters, something happens, right?
When the RP enters, you bounce a blue or black creature to your hand, and you can pay 1 life to bounce the RP to your hand.
Okay, but is it may or he has to bounce?
Yeah, it has to.
Okay, so there's no point.
It was designed as a downside back in Invasion block. So these creatures back in the day were above rate in terms of, like, power, toughness, and abilities. And the downside was you had to bounce, like, another creature to your hand to play those. Here we're using that downside as a upside, but this was the original design.
But, like, if he plays it right now, he has to bounce it back to his hand. So there's no point in playing it.
Well, RP is a beast, so if you play it right now, you draw a card. So it's 2 mana, draw a card, right? Because you play the RP, draw a card from
and then it gets bounced.
Yeah.
And then it gets bounced back here.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's actually not irrelevant. Harpy's a beast?
Yeah, exactly.
So random. I mean, not really, but...
What do you want it to be? Like a bird?
A bird, yeah. I mean, you know. Okay, I really want to see JS play the Sulfuric Vortex. I just think it's already a turn late.
Yeah, exactly. Might be tempted to keep, like, 1 mana up for the Green Man, but I think the play is the...
No,
okay, we're going with Browbeat, I guess.
But Browbeat is wrong, right? Because, okay, the thing about Browbeat is that even if you're gonna... So you shouldn't play it, right? And if you're gonna play it, I don't think it's a 4-of, because it's not the card you're playing on turn 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Like, it's the card you're playing after you've put them to 3 life, and then you just need to get that last burn spell, and they can't afford to pay 5 life. So I think you want, like, 2 or 3 copies, maybe 2 if you're gonna actually play it, so that you get it later on. So there again, I think we're just an extra turn behind on the Sulfuric Vortex, which I don't like. But Derrick took 5 damage, so maybe... like... It's like... Wait, 3, 7, 9...
Yeah, but it could also be that Jess is unfamiliar with how Aluren works, right? Like, it's a convoluted combo. Like, maybe he's not aware that Aluren requires life gain to get going.
That's true. which is totally fair if they're not experienced.
Here we can see one of the nice thing about Aluren is that even if you're not comboing, like you have a pretty sweet engine of cards, right?
Yeah, good value, good value deck. Oh man, I really love Sulfuric Vortex. It just kind of breaks my heart a bit not seeing it in play. Okay, Derrick taking damage to draw another card.
Yeah, so Derrick is digging for a Aluren at this point.
What's that? Oh, acidic soil is not going to be irrelevant. Okay, so hold on 1 second, actually, because Derrick maybe should have let him draw cards, right? Like that 5 damage could prove to be serious. He's got one.
I don't think you let him draw 3 cards. It's pretty rough.
If JS draws a land, he wins the game. He's going to deal 5 damage with acidic soil, plus 4 from Fire Blast, plus exiling 2 cards from Grim Lavamancer. It's lethal with 1 more land. So like that 5 damage. So this happened when we were commentating, when Anthony and I were commentating the old school game with Peter when he was playing the deck. We were questioning the decisions that Peter was making, but it still led to him winning the game anyways. So it's just this conversation about like, we're over here being, browbeat's no good and you shouldn't play it and why didn't you do this? And he may just win the game. So it's interesting, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, you're playing Red Burn, right? So you can put some air in your deck and you're still going to win at playing matches.
But I wonder like what changes if Derrick gives him 3 cards instead of taking 5 damage, But that said, it doesn't look like JS drew a land, so... Can Derrick win next turn with Aluren?
You can, if he has Aluren, you can pay 1 life to draw a card, right? So, and then dig for a Living Wish to get like the infinite life going. Mm-hmm. Once you have the infinite life going, you can draw your entire deck. But here, Sulfuric Vortex prevents life gain, so...
Yeah, so he's in a tough spot. But wait, just to make sure I understand, he can... If he plays Aluren right now, he can basically pay 8 life to draw 8 cards with
exactly.
Well, 7 life, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like
the first one would be free, right? Because you play the RP, you draw a card, 1 life, you replay it, you draw another card. Okay. So you would pay like 7 life to draw 8 cards, and you end up with the RP in play.
Interesting. It's kind of like Necropotence.
Yeah. It's assemble your own. Like 3 cards. And
Aluren has never been exciting to me, but that I've never seen it as that like that though. So seeing it as like a 2 combo Necropotence actually entices me a little bit more.
Well, it's a 3 card assemble your own Necropotence. It's a bit
3 cards.
Well, it's more assemble your own bargain, right? Because side, but because you need the elf to draw a card when you.
Right.
Sorry, of course. There's many moving pieces. You can all get them with Living Wish, but...
there's the monk. Okay, so it is in his sideboard. So Derrick Living Wished for a monk. He's going to put an end to our Sulfuric Vortex plan.
Yeah, sadly it's getting a bit late due to the amount of lands that he has.
Oh, yeah, well, JS has Acidic Soil, so it's just over, right?
Yeah, Acidic Soil and
Acidic Soil plus Fire Blast. Yeah. That's going to be 9 damage.
Yeah.
It's rough. Oh, making 2 black for Ravens. Yeah, it's value, but it's not going to put an it's not going to put an end to the 9 damage coming his way. Possibly 11 if again the land is drawn this turn. Doesn't mean it's like Browbeat won the game this time, but that's what I mean. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like it's not good just because it won this game. It's whatever. It's fun to see. I like it. At least he played a card and it actually worked, right? That makes it more exciting, I think, than if it was just the exact same stock list you'd see everywhere else. At least
we would have to look back at his list, but he's cutting if he's cutting Lava Dart and maybe shot for it, that where would Chandler would be out, right? So.
Yeah, no. So not that I'm gonna build the deck that way, just that I'm saying we're seeing something unconventional that most of the time wouldn't work, but at least it is working, So it's nice to get to see what it can do in its theory being put to practice. So.
Like I mentioned, a suboptimal Sly list is still Sly, right? Yeah. It's you're still very consistent and proactive. So the floor is still very high.
Interesting. I don't know about you, but it looked like it's pretty much exactly what you were saying. That they learned that just didn't have a chance there. Like
yeah, the mana
it's just gonna end too fast for them.
This mana is painful, and you need to have like a very fast hand, I think, to win with in that matchup.
I wonder, like, if Derrick had Veteran Explorer instead of. Oh no, but Veteran Explorer is just feeding the acidic soil.
Yeah.
Now that you've seen acidic soil, you're probably cutting Veteran Explorer out of it. Well,
not exactly sure you got Veteran Explorer, but yeah.
is it good versus a burn deck? Like playing Fire Blast? Like burn burn days or Sly, whatever. I mean, I'd be kind of scared giving them 2 mountains. I don't know. Especially JS's version with all those 3-drop cards he's playing.
But I mean,
okay.
I think it's less bad than giving like land still two lands, right?
Yeah.
You can't afford to give Slide 2 mountains, I would say.
I'd still be terrified though doing it. I'd be terrified. I don't know if they even sideboarded. Did you see if they sideboarded? It is important to note that this game is happening at the night that you actually
so I organized like a casual night where people were doing freeform OldSchool and Premodern games, and this is one of the
Premodern games.
So this is not in the monthly.
No. But JS still nice enough to bring his equipment. Well, the equipment required to capture some games. So
yeah,
keep the content train rolling. You know.
All right, so we got a one-lander, which is, I don't think, an issue when you're playing Sly. You're fine keeping a lot of one-landers.
I agree with you. It does get a little bit tricky when 2 of those cards are 3 cards.
All right, so here we got a 2-bird hand.
I'm all against 6, I believe.
Yeah.
And Derrick already doing the thing for JS.
Yeah.
The game starts at 19. That's true. Like, think about that, right? The game starting at 19 and that Jackal Pup getting 1 swing in means Lightning Bolt, right? It means that the Jackal Pup is a Lightning Bolt, and that's what the burn deck wants to do. Pay 1 mana to deal 3 damage.
So earlier you asked me if it was worth killing a bird. I think so, because not only are you slowing your opponent enough to, but the bird makes the mana less painful. So if you're killing the bird, they're gonna like ping themselves.
Okay, interesting. So it is conducive to the plant. Yeah. Oh my god.
What is happening?
Okay, but like, do you name the ball lightning? I don't think you need to flash back this Cabal Therapy right away, right? We're so far away from that book.
We're far away from it. I don't think you do it.
And like, even if JS incinerates 1 bird, you can still then sack the other one if you're so desperate to get rid of the ball lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Lightning Bolt is good for JS. But the hand.
Yeah.
The hand.
It's like a poker hand.
Every time that he doesn't draw land, it gives the slow-ish Aluren deck a chance to do
it.
Well, okay,
here it is.
Me using the word slow as the fucking card comes down.
Well, I hope for him that he's winning right now, because Jess is going to play like a bunch of ball lightning.
Oh, well, he can flashback the therapy now.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't need the mana anymore, right? So he can get rid of the bird to get to hit those.
Yeah, that's true. Aluren is a funky card.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, good for Derrick. Yeah. But it's okay. So it's not flash then. You don't play it with flash, right, Aluren? Because if you do, then no, it wouldn't matter anyways. Because if he plays the ball lightnings, they get sacrificed. Anyway, they get sacrificed. So. Okay, Raven's Familiar is gonna let Derrick look at 3 cards, right? It's an impulse for 3, right? That's what it does. Look at 3 cards. Look at 3 cards. Put 1 in your hand. Oh, he finds Living Wish, but he can't cast it. So Living Wish is what he needs, but he's tapped out. But I think he's in a pretty comfortable position, right? I mean, Cabal Therapying those ball lightnings, JS missing lands. Okay, flashing in the Lavamancer, but again, he needs to draw land. He needs to be able to incinerate something at instant speed, right? Like in response to the Heartbeat bouncing. But can't you just pay another life to?
Yeah. It's very hard to interact once you have the Aluren in play.
Okay, so that's wrong, right? You don't need to bolt that bird.
Yeah, I would be more pressed about. I mean, if you don't have enough to pay for the echo, it's gonna die. But so that maybe is a play, right? Preventing the echo payment. But
So wait, is Derrick missing an echo cost?
yeah, I think he is right now.
Oh, so that Raven should. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. We caught it. We caught it. It's good for our players.
Yeah,
That's
because
good.
with the Raven is a very scary creature in that spot. Because if he draws a RP, can go through, can impulse for one life, right? So 3-card impulse for 1 life is pretty good. Because you can bounce the Raven with the RP, basically.
I just want to say to all the Flame Rift haters that if Incinerate was a Fire Blast, it's game over next turn. Because of it, and that's because of Flame Rift.
Can't be result oriented like this.
I'm pretty sure this is my house, okay, Karl? I'll make the fucking rules. Yeah, man, you should see the graphics that JSRD is doing are freaking insane. Like, he's putting this stuff. If you could see this picture in blow up, there's so many little Easter eggs and things that you.
I'm in the chat where we're like helping him. Like, basically, he asked us like, do you think like the text should be on the right and left and stuff like that? And and basically this one I was like, what if we gave them a hand of card, right? And then like the conversation went over like with you and Anthony over their shoulders, like commenting. So it's basically two players playing with their hand of cards and y'all commenting.
Nice.
So
it's really well done. The Photoshop work is really good.
Yeah, we were all laughing in the conversation today.
So what is Derrick doing? He's living for another Raven. Yeah, so just like you're saying, the Raven is very scary. He wants to get another one, which is exactly what he's just done.
Yeah, because if you get the RP at this point, it's 1 life, 2 impulse. And, well, doing the impulse with 3-card, right? It's slightly different, but yeah.
Derrick's doing a good job of making us guess what's in his hand instead of letting us see.
Right.
Putting our skills to the test. Ooh, that's another pass turn. It's very dangerous,
very
right?
Very rough, yeah.
Yeah, very dangerous.
He can't pay the echo right now.
And that's a land. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, the other issue was like, you probably go for it, right? Because if you draw the RP, it's probably game over, but you can't pay the echo for that bird.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, JS has to put him down to as low as possible, right? Which means he has to attack. And Harpy's a 1/2?
Let me double check that.
I think I see 1/2, which means that JS cannot use Flame Rift and attack. He's gonna have to. Well, I guess you can attack with everything first and see what he does, but because the Raven's gonna die anyway, so you don't care. You attack for 4, he takes 3, you Flame Rift, he goes to 5, you kill him next turn. Yeah, I think you just attack. No, so no need for that, right?
Yeah, Raven Familiar is a 1/2.
He used Lavamancer to shoot the Familiar.
Yeah, I think that's incorrect because
it's gonna die anyways, right?
As mentioned, he can't pay for the echo, so
yeah,
that's a waste of answer.
Now that said, he's just kind of winning. No, he's not. No, he's not winning next turn. Yeah, so he missed out on 2 damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing what he did, which is relevant because. Okay. That looks like that looks like Derrick. Oh, right, because Aluren. I was gonna say that looks like Derrick conceding, but
no, that is very scary. Okay.
Wait, what does Man of War do?
Here, what you do is like you do a 4 pile.
But what does Man of War do?
Bounce a creature.
Oh, so on any side of the board?
Let me check. I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Because that. Yeah. Anyways,
return target creatures to his owner's hand, so any side. So you don't want to put that with the Raven.
Yeah.
What I would have done personally is I would have put the 4 cards in one pile in the Raven.
With Raven alone.
Yeah, because right now what he wants is the Raven.
Yeah.
Because he needs to win almost right now, right? So.
But these Ravens have not been nice to him.
No.
Like, it's the 3rd one he's played in a row, and that's like 12 cards he's looking at. He hasn't seen enough of.
The RP.
Well, and also he was forced to use Living Wish to find a Raven, so he couldn't even use it to get the Harpy.
Yeah.
So it's like. The gods are not smiling on Derrick, it seems.
Only cards in GS regular right now, only 1.
Yeah, only 1. He doubled.
So where maybe he can avoid like a Grim Lavamancer on that Raven right now, and he could pay for the echo. That would be great. So let's question that.
Well, JS whiffed the land, which is important for Derrick.
Yeah, it's very close.
I think what you do is you attack with Pup and 1 Lavamancer.
There's this.
I guess no. You go with everything. You attack with everything because you have Incinerate in your hand. It's basically telling you, Derrick, you're at 1 life. You can't. Nah, you attack with everything, right? You put Derrick to 1 because then you can't Harpy.
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of things happening right now that I'm not sure about. Right, no attack, not paying the Echo. Because if you draw the RP with the familiar, you can just draw a lot of cards.
Nah, you 100% had to attack there because putting the Aluren deck to 1 life means he can't do any looping with Harpy. So.
Yeah.
And then you just win the following turn. Like even if you lose 1 of your creatures, it's okay. Like he's there.
Here we got a deed for 1, but that's not gonna. Well, actually, yes, it's gonna save him now.
Yeah, right. Like that.
Yeah, okay, because it didn't attack.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's pretty sketchy, right? Like he's at a virtual 1 life, and that means he won't be able to use his RP engine unless he has like the Channeler to draw some cards, or what's the name of the white card that gains life? Let me just double check that.
All right, JS is basically saying you're dead next turn, bud. I think either way, it's like the same clock for him. But I think if I was me playing, I would not play the Fanatic. I would hold the Incinerate, and then just Incinerate Derrick as soon as he pays even 1 life for anything. But now, what can Derrick get with Living Wish? Is there any life gain he can get? Oh wow! If Derrick gets
the Soul Warden.
Yeah, he
Soul Warden. So he should be playing 1 in the sideboard, right?
Yeah, I saw it. It's there.
Yeah.
So
but if he doesn't have any creature in hand, it's not going anywhere.
He got 2 cards, so
yeah.
Oh, but the game was over though, right? Had JS just attacked?
Yeah, the JS attack. The game was over.
Wow,
interesting. We're gonna kill the.
Well, no, that's no good.
That's no good.
You sack in response, put him to 3, and then you Incinerate.
Yeah.
One thing you need to do when you're playing Burn is always counter lethal. Do your math every turn and do it in your head. There's a lot of people who like to, point at things and count on their fingers, and you're just kind of giving away information for no reason. But always do your math and count your numbers, and don't be afraid to lose creatures if it means winning the following turn. Like a very important thing in chess, right? It's like sacrificing your queen is not a. You can win without your queen. It's okay to use her.
So basically, it's a concession here. Explaining I can't kill the Fanatic. There's no out. Yeah. It's a pretty tough matchup. Very tough matchup. Like even with a few mistakes here and there, it's pretty hard to win. I would say as the Aluren player.
It looks like you just have a lot of fun playing the Aluren deck, whether you win or lose. Like just value here, value there, draw, impulse here, impulse there, gain life, draw this, draw that. But the burn is too consistent, too fast. The burn is just a tad too slow, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like in Vintage or whatever when you're you can't play TPS anymore. You're just 1 turn slower than paradoxical outcome. So you're still having
you
fun.
Also don't have counterspells.
Yeah. True.
But my comparable here is like Full English Breakfast, which I play a lot, and this Aluren just seems like a tad slower, but you still have some of the same issues, right, with the painful mana base.
Well, kids, if you want to play Acidic Soil and Browbeat, this is the video that'll make you feel strong and powerful. But, I don't know. Until next time, I suppose. It's fun games, I think. So, all right, sounds good. I'll see you guys next time.